Alright, so in the first two parts of this webinar, I talked about investing, right? Long-term passive investing and medium-term active investing. And with investing, you get anywhere from 11 to 12% for long-term investing passive, and for active investing, 15 to 25% returns a year. Now, if you really want to make really high returns, like 50, 60% returns a year, 100% return a year, you have to do short-term trading. Now, in short-term trading, your win rates are much lower than long-term investing. When you invest long-term, your win rates are 80 to 90%, because as long as you buy very good companies, there's a very high chance the price will go up in the long run. But when you do short-term trading, like you're in and out for a few days or a few weeks, your win rates are much lower. But because of the high frequency of trading going in and out, you can generate much higher returns, especially with leverage. Now, to do that, there are basically 4 keys to profitable short-term trading. So listen up. The first key is knowing exactly what to buy. So in short-term trading, I only buy the strongest companies, the fundamentally strongest companies with the highest growth rates. Because when you buy strong companies, it's a very high probability the price will move up in the short term because of strong sales and profit growth. But that only makes up 20% of your success. See, many people, they may know what to buy, but they still do not achieve consistent results, because number 2, you have to know exactly how much to buy. How many shares do you buy? So there's a mathematical formula I use known as position sizing, where we calculate the exact number of shares to buy, such that for every trade you go into, your risk is minimal. In fact, I always tell people that as a beginner, you only risk 1% of your capital on any single trade. Risk only 1%. So I'll teach you how to calculate in Wealth Academy how many shares do you buy so that your risk is always 1%. Next, once you know what to buy and how much to buy, you must know exactly when to buy. Remember, stocks go into different trends. They go on uptrends, sideways, downtrends. So as a smart trader, you only enter when the price begins a new uptrend. So the moment you enter, you start making money immediately. I don't want to buy a stock and see it go sideways for days or weeks. I don't have the time. The moment I buy, I want to make money tomorrow, the next day, and the next week. So we use technical analysis to identify the start of a new uptrend, while we use fundamental analysis to analyze the best companies to watch. Now, 20%, 10%, 30%, that is 60%. So you can do the first 3 and still not make money. Because the most important thing in trading is knowing when to sell. Right? Knowing when to sell creates the greatest impact on your profits. And when do you sell? You sell the moment the price hits your profit target. And I'll teach you again exactly when you place your profit target. Now, do bear in mind that in short-term trading, my objective is to get in and get out really fast within a few days and capture a quick profit. So to do that, I have to identify recurring price patterns. So one of the things that I notice that is when a stock is on a clear uptrend, recall what happens. On an uptrend, the price makes a series of higher highs and higher lows, kind of like a wave pattern, if you will. So that's what we call the impulse wave, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. So we see this pattern, okay? Very often, you saw that when the price comes down, it finds a support, like a moving average, when it bounces off the moving average. For example, this blue line is one of the moving averages that I use, called the 50-day moving average. So what happens is when I see a stock on a clear uptrend with strong fundamentals, it's on a clear uptrend, and the moment the price hits the moving average, it bounces off, what do? That's right, the exact point I would buy the stock, right? And I anticipate that it's going to continue going up to a new high. So it's a new high, new high, new high, new high. Right at that high, I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell before it comes back down again and continues the trend, okay? So again, in investing, we hold it all the way. But in trading, we quickly get in and we get out in a few days for quick profit. And we rinse and repeat. And we keep doing it again and again. And that's how we generate lots of profits consistently. So here's a real life example. So for example, this is a trade on a stock where I found, it's known as LAD. And again, in the program, I'll teach you how to use the right software that will identify these trades every single day. So you can see, for example, this stock is having a wave pattern. The price is going up, right? And it's going down, and boom, it is hitting the blue line. And the blue line is the 50 moving average. Let's get the 50 moving average, right? So the moment it hits the line, I anticipate that the price is going to go up. All right, it's going to go up. I'm going to get a quick trade. So I'm going to buy right at this point over here. So I'm going to buy at $89. Now, here's the thing. When I buy, I'm anticipating the price is going to go up. Will it always go up? Of course not. No one can predict the future. Okay, I can't be right all the time. So there's a good chance that after I buy, what happens? The price is going to go down, you know, and it's going to be a losing trade, right? Anything can happen. So I must always place a stop loss order. So a stop loss order is an order that you place with the broker such that when the price goes down to a certain level, the broker will automatically sell at a certain price so you limit your loss. Okay, so in Wealth Academy, I'll teach you exactly where to place the stop loss. So in this case, we enter the stock at $89, right? And I place the stop loss at $84.50. So what is my risk per share? So for every share I buy, I'm risking $4.50. Does it make sense? Because if I buy at $89 and if it happens to go down instead of going up, I would sell at $84.50 and I'll lose $4.50 per share. Okay? Now, how many shares do I buy? Okay? So here is how we do our risk management, just to share it very quickly. For example, if I have a capital, let's imagine I've got a capital of, say, $10,000. Okay? And like I mentioned before, I only risk 1% of my capital on any trade. So I'm going to risk 1%. Now, what's 1% times $10,000? The answer is $100. Okay? So the worst that can happen is if it's a losing trade, I lose $100. Okay? So the total risk I'm willing to take is $100. But for each share I buy, I'm risking $4.50. So how many shares can I buy? So I take the total risk, which is $100, and I divide it by $4.50. Now, $100 divided by $4.50 equals to 22. So this tells me that I have to buy 22 shares of this stock. Okay? Why? Because if I buy 22 shares, it hits my stop loss, I will lose $100, which is 1% of my total capital. Make sense? Now, where do I place my profit target? I always place a profit target 2 times the risk I'm taking. So in this case, I'm risking $4.50 per share. This is known as 1R. R stands for risk. So 1R is $4.50. Now what is 2R? 2R is 450 times 2, which is $9. So as a short-term trader, I'll place my profit target $9 above my entry price. So 89 plus 9 is $98. So I have got a profit target of $98. I'll place it with my stockbroker. So the moment the price goes to 98, it will sell automatically at $98. So I get a profit of $9 per share. Now I buy 22 shares, so $9 times 22, you do the math, okay? And that's my profit. So when I make a profit, it will be represent 2% of my capital that I make. If I lose 1%. Okay. Now, so this is how I place a trade when I'm trading short term. And again, in the program, you learn specific indicators like the MACD and stochastics, as well as specific candlestick patterns to identify the highest probability trades. I've shown you an example of how I place a short-term trade. So when I place a short-term trade, there's a risk I'm going to lose 1% of my capital, but there's a potential of me making 2% of my capital. So I'm always risking 1R to make 2R. Now, will I be right all the time? Of course not, it's impossible, right? But when I use the right indicators and the right candlestick patterns and all these things you're going to learn in Wealth Academy, I can tell you that based on my trading record, based on my students' record, we are right 60 to 70% of the time. So 60 to 70% of the time, if you follow my rules, you're going to hit your profit target and you're going to make 2% return on your capital for each trade you make. And again, each trade lasts for just a few days. Okay? But there's a 30 to 40% probability that the trade will not be a winning trade and you will lose 1% of your capital. So this is a trading plan that I use. Now, what happens when you do that? On average, I do about 20 trades a month. So if you do 20 trades a month and your win rate is 60%, for example, which is pretty average if you are an experienced trader, that means that on average, you're going to lose on 8 trades, you're going to win on 12 trades. Now, each time we lose, we are risking 1%, like what I showed you just now. And each time you win, you're making 2%, double of what you're risking. So 8 losses minus 1% is minus 8%. 12 wins at 2% is 24%. So 24 minus 8, your net result for that month is a 16% return a month. And that's how you saw in one of the months where I traded, I got a 16% return. All right, at about 60% win rate, okay? Now, what if in certain months your win rate goes down to 50%? It's very possible that sometimes you only get a 50% percentage of winning as a short-term trader. That means you have 10 wins and 10 losses. But again, each time you lose 1%. So that's minus 10%. Each time you win 2%. So that's 20%. So your net result is still 10% return for that month. And again, think about it. If you get 10% return every month, compounded, that's more than 120% a year. You're more than doubling your money every single year. Okay? Now, what if your win rate only drops to 40%? Now, it can happen when you go through, a tough time, right? It can happen, right? Not very often, but it does happen. Now, even if you're only right 40% of the time, I mean, that sucks, right? You get 4 out of 10 right. That sucks. But again, you get 12 losses and 8 wins, but you only lose 12%. You win 16%, you're still making 4% a month. Hey, that's better than some people putting in a fixed deposit or in a unit trust and making 4% a year. You're making 4% a month just being right 40% of the time. Why? Because of the trade frequency. We go in and out very fast as short-term traders. So I'm going to teach you exactly how do you find these trades, how do you place the trades, and how do you get these returns consistently. In fact, if you check out the emails that my students send to me, you can see that they're getting huge returns every single month, every single year with very low win rates, okay? Because that's short-term trading. I told you, in long-term investing, your win rate is 80 to 90%, but you need many years to make money. In short-term trading, lower win rate, high frequency, generate very fast returns. This guy, Kenny, sent me an email back in August of 2017. And he said, "Hi Adam, good day. It's been 9 months of live trading. I've officially doubled my initial capital, even though my hit rate is just 50%, right? Exactly what I said. I'm very glad I attended the Wealth Academy program last year. It was one of the few absolutely right decisions I've made. This equipped me with a recession-proof skill set. Your grateful student, Kenny." This was another email I got recently, back in October 2017 from Errol, okay? And he says, this was a WhatsApp or Telegram message. He said, "Adam, I'd like to thank you and let you know that your system works not only for swing trading, but also intraday trading. My hit rate for Hang Seng is less than 50%, sorry. So he used my system to trade Hang Seng futures. Hang Seng is the Hong Kong stock index futures on an intraday basis. And he said, I managed to triple my capital, right? Triple his capital just by using your 1 to 2 system, risking 1 to make 2. And these are my stats for Hang Seng after 100 trades. So he did 100 trades in 3.5 months. He grew it from $10,000 to $35,000. I mean, that's over a triple, 3 times return on his money. And you can see that his win rate is only 44%. He's only right 44%, but he tripled his money in 3.5 months. One of the reasons is because he did not risk 1%. He risked something like 10%, all right, which I don't recommend if you're a beginner. You always start with 1%. As you get more confident, you can risk 2%, 3%, and some of my crazy students like Arrow risk 10%. Okay, so that's how you generate really high returns in the short run. You'll learn exactly how to do it in the Wealth Academy program. Let me tell you more about this program. So Wealth Academy is a program I've been running for the last 12 years. I now run it in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Philippines and Vietnam, so around Asia. So if you want to see me live, you've got to fly into Asia to attend this program. But if you want, we also have our online trading courses that you can take from piranhaprofits.com if you are outside of Asia. All right. So the Wealth Academy program is a mentorship system that consists of 7 parts. We begin with an intensive 3-day investment and trading mastery camp where I'll be teaching you personally together with my assistant trainers, followed by 3 investment booster sessions over 3 more days. We've got online video tutorials, home study materials, manuals, books, and you also attend our monthly Investor Inner Circle meetings with our past graduates that meet every single month to discuss the best investments and trades for the month. And it's a great peer-to-peer community where everyone helps each other to succeed as investors and traders. We also have got our 24-hour Telegram chat groups where I mentor students every single day together with my coaches. And you also get access to my personal portfolio. You can see exactly what I'm buying, what I'm selling, what I'm holding on my website. In fact, my track record is up there for you to see for the last 9 years. All my programs come with a free lifetime reattendance philosophy. So once you attend one program, you're invited to come for all future programs absolutely free of charge, excluding the food and beverage, okay? So you're investing not in one workshop, you're investing in a life membership. And I invite you wherever you are in the world, come to Singapore, Malaysia, or Vietnam, or Philippines, where we run this program. So on the first day, I cover the basics of investing. So if you know nothing about the stock market, nothing about finance or accounting, we start you from the basics. You're going to learn exactly what drives the stock market, what makes prices go up and down every single day. How do you master the psychology of successful investors? How do you think differently from the herd? You will learn fundamental analysis. You learn exactly how to identify great businesses. How do you analyze financial statements and ratios, identifying growth potential and danger signs to avoid in companies, and technical analysis, my specialty, knowing exactly when to buy and when to sell by reading trends, candlestick patterns, wave patterns, all right? How do you read stock charts confidently? Again, how do you analyze short-term, medium-term, and long-term trends? And how do you trade in global markets? So I believe that to maximize your returns, you can't just invest locally in your market. You have to invest globally in the US and the UK, anywhere where profits can be maximized. In day 2, you're going to learn all my winning investment strategies. You'll be learning about the market cycle, right? What goes up must come down, will go sideways. So in different phases of the market, you invest with different strategies, okay? Next, how do you invest in ETFs, exchange traded funds? We'll go into detail as to how do you buy ETFs, which are the best ones to buy, when do you buy them, when do you sell them, how long do you hold them for, okay? We'll go through a 10-step process of how do you pick winning stocks, from tracking what insiders are doing to identifying the fastest growing catalysts in companies to calculating intrinsic value, to know what a share is really worth. So when you buy at a certain price, is it overvalued or undervalued? What's the real value of the share? You learn how to spot stocks before they make their greatest gains by identifying momentum patterns. I'll teach you how to use software online for free to screen for investment opportunities every single day. You learn exactly how to use the charting software. How do you put in the moving averages, okay, the indicators, the candlestick patterns, and how do you trade using the right broker? You know, how do you click buy, how do you click sell, how do you place your stop losses and automate the whole process. On day 3, we'll cover advanced investing strategies, where you learn about how do you profit from a declining market, all right? You know, every 10 years the market will crash, and I expect a crash very soon. So you have to learn how to profit when the market goes on a downtrend by knowing how and when to short sell, and how do you short sell with CFDs and inverse ETFs, and how do you use leverage to magnify your returns. Okay, leverage again means that for every $10,000 of shares you buy, you don't need $10,000. You only use $1,000, for example. So you're leveraging 10 times of your money. How do you anticipate market turning points even before the trend changes? This is one of my secrets I'll teach you in the program. How do you achieve 5 to 10% monthly returns trading stock CFDs? How do you build and manage a winning portfolio? And how do you diversify between different kinds of shares in order to, again, have a low risk, high return portfolio? So that's what we're going to be covering in the 3-day intensive program. My program starts at 9 a.m. and we do not end any earlier than 10 p.m. Right? So it's a really intensive program. You'll be learning position sizing and, again, very importantly, risk management. Important points that people ask me would be, number one, what do I need to be ready for the program? I would say, well, if you're a complete beginner, you know nothing about finance and accounting, no worries. You'll be given a lot of pre-reading materials, video tutorials to get you started, and I'll start from the basics, okay? Next, it's going to be really practical, so when you come for our live courses, you got to bring your laptop. If you don't have a laptop, you got to beg, borrow, or steal one. No, sorry, beg, borrow, or buy one, okay? So it's going to be really interactive with a lot of hands-on research and practice till you master the skills, okay? We'll be playing a lot of games, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And some people ask me, how much time must I spend looking at the markets every day if you want to make a lot of money? It depends, right? If you are a long-term investor, you just buy and you hold it for years, don't have to look at it. As a medium-term investor, you look at the market maybe once every 3 months when companies announce earnings. Right? But as a short-term trader, you have to look at the market every single day. And I don't look at the market more than 30 minutes a day. And that's all you need, 30 minutes a day to generate consistent profits as a professional trader or investor. All right, guys? So if you're interested, if you want to take action, you want to change your life financially, I encourage you to do it. It's going to be the best decision you've made in your life financially. And that's what all my students tell me. In fact, all my students tell me, Adam, my only regret is, why didn't I learn this 10 years ago? If I had learned this 10 years ago, 20 years ago, my life would be so different today. And I say there's no regrets. Start now. The earlier you start, the faster you're going to be financially free. Okay? So for my live classes, I've, again, I'm in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Philippines, and Vietnam. These are hotlines. You can call us during office hours or send us an email to the specific countries. If you are outside of Asia, you want to take our professional online trading courses, you can go to piranhaprofits.com and you can find out about online courses there as well. This is Adam Khoo. Thank you for listening. It was really fun talking to you. I hope I inspired you. I encourage you to take action and to really achieve your financial freedom. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.